Yeah, as I was saying, um, we have here question 39. What can be used to reduce inflation? We know to reduce inflation, we want aggregate demand to reduce because economic growth is just going to drive prices up more. So to reduce economic growth, we might have to increase taxes. So send back your answers. Let me see what you had. Or increase the interest rate. So what increases the interest rate? So increasing interest rate is one thing. You're saying one as well. So if we decrease the money supply, yeah, interest rates are going to go up. So you're on point there. Yeah, so 1 and 2 is correct. You guys know what you're about. 40. Resources, both human and physical, are required to produce good. What is most accurately described here? Factors of production, right? Factors of production. Which of the following is not a service? Which of the following is not a service? Which of the following is not a service? And you're saying D, yeah, that is not a service. 42. Which of the following, in which year was there a greatest increase in real wages? A question that comes a lot. In which year is real wage increase the greatest? In which year was the real wage increase the greatest? So you're saying A, yeah, again, the real wage is just the wage rate adjusted for inflation. How can you find that? Inflation minus the wage increase. And the greatest there is 2006, right? 43. Which of the following is not a characteristic of Caribbean countries? Which is not a characteristic of Caribbean countries? Yep, major producers of manufactured goods. That is one thing they don't do. So correct. 44. The role of trade unions in the economy is? The role of trade unions in the economy is what? Negotiate wages on behalf of the workers. There's one thing. Increase the wage rate of employees. Create conflict. So we getting different answers here. So establish a minimum wage rate. No, it is not them. Try to increase the wage rate. I would say B, right? Because negotiate wages on behalf of workers. I think workers have to negotiate their own wages. However, increasing the rate, that is something they can lobby for on a macro level, right? Say, okay, we want 5% increase for everyone, right? So I would say that is that. 45. The main advantage of a quota as compared to a tariff is what? Yeah, the main advantage of quotas compared to tariff is what? So you're saying 45A, 45A, 45D, which one? So remove Yeah, quota right away is a limit, right? So that is less expensive to administer, right? Um, because you don't have to be monitoring every so often how much, calculating VAT. Once it passes the amount, you will just stop, right? 46, which of the following is a positive effect of brain drain on a country? A source of remittances. A source of remittances. Right? Source of remittances. 47. Which of the following is a disadvantage of international trade? Which of the following is a disadvantage of international trade? Yeah, it is stiff competition for local industry, and we call this the infant industry argument. So correct. Economies of scale, better relations, and more choice are all advantages. Which of the bodies end preferential trade agreements? WTO, right? Trade agreements deal with trade. Sorry, trade agreements are dealt with by the WTO, and since they are part of trade. 49, a computer is purchased from the US at the price of 500. If the exchange rate is given as TT $10 is equal to US 1.0, what is the price of the computer? What do you do? There's a very simple exchange rate. This here you just multiply by 10. So 500 by 10 can give you 49C, 5,000. Right? What best describes a tariff? A tax levied on goods import, right? Yeah. 51. Which of the following will contribute to a surplus on the balance of trade of a country? What allows us to have a surplus? Exports greater than imports, or anything adding to imports? Anything adding to exports, anything subtracting imports. So B is absolutely correct, right? 52. Which of the following is not a function of the IMF? Which is not a function of IMF? Disputes between countries, correct? 53. Disputes between countries is correct. 53. The central bank calls for an increase in the reserve requirement of commercial bank. How will this affect operations? How will this affect operations? The liquid assets are reduced. Yeah, if they increase RR, more money has to be lodged away. Liquid assets reduced, right? 54. The restriction of international trade through tariffs, embargoes, and quota and exchange rate is referred to as. So we implementing all of these things. What are we trying to do? So no, it is not. That is protectionism, right? Not structural adjustment. So protectionism, we protecting ourselves from trade. 55. Country A is experiencing a BOP deficit. Which of the following measures would it take to reduce the deficit in the short term? Impose restrictions on imports. Yep, that can work. Restricting imports is one thing we can do, right? 56, to reduce that amount of money leaving. 56, which of the following is most likely to lead to greater international investment into the Caribbean? Globalization, very easy. 57, again, as we finish, I just want to commend you for making the effort to be here. You know, it's exam time. Don't look at what anybody else is doing. If they're slacking up, now is the time to grind up, right? 57, which of the following are ways in calculating national income? Income, output, and expenditure, 1, 3, and 4, right? 1, 3, and 4. 57C. 58, e-commerce refers to what? E-commerce refers to what? Yeah, electronic businesses, right? 59, one example of an entrepreneur is whom? The owner, right? The manager is managing on behalf of the owner. The employee is not, the worker is not. And 60, trade liberalization would result in several benefits to consumers. Which of the following is not a benefit to consumers? Price of goods and service increase, right? A price increase can never be a good thing. So yeah, 60A, right? So this wraps up again 2013. Indicate to me in the chat or there how much you got, right? But nothing too hard about this paper. You know, a lot of questions repeat, and we can endeavor to get our full 60 if we just prepare with knowing what's coming and for the one, two other thing that might pop in that is new, right?